Charles Leclerc's shocking comments after the Singapore Grand Prix didn't just rattle Ferrari fans. They sent a thunderclap through the entire Formula One world. For years, he's been seen as Ferrari's golden boy, the heart of their rebuild and the driver destined to return the Scuderia to glory. But when he quietly said, "We're passengers," it didn't sound like a frustrated driver after a bad weekend. It sounded like a man who's lost faith in the very team he once defended through every storm. And that's why right now everyone inside Maranello is holding their breath. Think about it. 3 words. Just 3. But in Formula One, words can be as powerful as a victory or a crash. Leclerc's tone wasn't angry. It was calm, almost detached. And that's what makes it so unsettling. You can hear it in his voice. He's tired. Tired of waiting, tired of excuses, tired of the same promises that keep breaking year after year. And when a driver like Leclerc, Ferrari's emotional anchor, starts sounding like that, it's not just a bad sign, it's a warning. Inside Ferrari, that comment hit like a thunderbolt. Mechanics, engineers, and even senior figures reportedly couldn't believe he said it so openly. But the truth is, Leclerc's been showing cracks for a while now. Behind that trademark smile, the frustration's been growing. Every failed upgrade, every confusing strategy call, every weekend where he gives everything only to finish behind Red Bull, McLaren, or even Mercedes, it's all been adding up. And now, it feels like he's reached a breaking point. What's even more dramatic is how the rest of the paddock reacted. Rivals, journalists, and even former drivers immediately began asking the same question. Is Charles Leclerc preparing to leave Ferrari? Because that line, "We're passengers," doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from someone who feels like he's no longer in control. Someone who believes that the team he trusted has lost its way. And here's where things get even more interesting. Lewis Hamilton, who just joined Ferrari this season with the hope of leading a new era, reportedly couldn't believe Leclerc's words either. For Hamilton, this wasn't just team frustration, it was a red flag. He's seen this movie before at Mercedes, when communication broke down and morale began to sink. And if Ferrari doesn't act fast, he knows exactly how that story ends. But before we dive deeper into how Hamilton and team boss Frédéric Vasseur are reacting to all this, I want to know what you think. Do you believe Leclerc's quote was a real warning to Ferrari, or just heat-of-the-moment frustration after a tough weekend? Vote in the poll right now, warning or venting. And if you were sitting in Ferrari's leadership seat today, would you do whatever it takes to keep Leclerc, yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. I really want to see how fans feel about this. And hey, if you love F1 breakdowns like this, subscribe to Fast News F1 and hit that notification bell. Your support helps us grow and reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers, so we can keep bringing you daily F1 updates and inside stories just like this one. When Leclerc said "we're passengers," it sounded simple. But in Formula One, nothing is ever simple. Every word, every tone, every glance has meaning. And this one sentence might be the most revealing moment of his Ferrari career. It wasn't said in anger or desperation. It was said with calm certainty. And that's what scared everyone the most. When a driver stops, shouting, and starts accepting that things are out of their hands, it usually means something's already broken inside. For years, Charles Leclerc has been Ferrari's symbol of hope. The young talent who arrived in 2019, full of energy and faith in the red car, always defended the team no matter how bad things got. Remember those moments when strategy mistakes cost him podiums or when reliability issues ruined his races? He'd take the blame, saying, "We'll come back stronger." But now, that optimism seems gone. After Singapore, he sounded like someone who doesn't believe in the comeback anymore. That shift is exactly what's alarming people inside Maranello. The car's inconsistency, the endless technical promises, the confusing updates, it's all taken a toll. Leclerc feels like he's driving a machine that changes its personality every session. Fast one day, completely lost the next. It's like he's chasing a ghost setup that never works twice. And when he said, "We're passengers," he wasn't exaggerating. He was describing the feeling of being strapped into a car that doesn't respond, that doesn't evolve, and that refuses to improve no matter what he does. Ferrari insiders have described the mood after that quote as tense and defensive. Some believe Leclerc was sending a message to leadership: "Fix this or I'm gone." Others think it was the sound of someone who's emotionally checked out. Either way, that line has become a symbol, a warning that Ferrari's most loyal driver may no longer believe in the project he once carried on his shoulders. You can feel the frustration in every word he says now. It's not about one bad race. It's about 5 years of watching rivals like Verstappen, Norris, and Russell move forward while he stays stuck in the same cycle. New car, new promise, same disappointment. For a driver of his talent, that's not just exhausting, it's heartbreaking. Here's something for you to think about. Do you think Leclerc's patience with Ferrari is truly gone, or is there still a spark of belief left in him? Type faith in the comments if you think he'll stay loyal and fight on, or done if you think he's already mentally out the door. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Fast News F1 and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Your subscription is a big help as we aim for 2,000 subscribers, and it means we can keep bringing you daily updates from inside the F1 paddock, including the reactions from Hamilton and Vasseur that are coming up next. When Leclerc's words hit the airwaves, Ferrari's garage fell silent. And outside of it, the entire paddock started buzzing. Lewis Hamilton, who came to Ferrari this season full of hope, was reportedly speechless when he heard the interview. For him, this wasn't just a frustrated teammate venting, it was a warning shot. Hamilton has seen how fast morale can crumble inside a team once trust starts to fade. He lived it at Mercedes in those final seasons when communication broke down and even the smallest issues became huge problems. That's why his reaction to Leclerc's comment was one of real concern. Behind the scenes, Hamilton is said to be urging Ferrari's leadership to act fast. He knows that once a driver loses faith, rebuilding it takes more than words. It takes visible change. According to people close to the situation, Lewis told team members privately that before Ferrari talks about upgrades or performance, they need to fix belief. Without unity between the drivers, the engineers, and the pit wall, he warned, even the best car in the world won't win a championship. And coming from someone who's lived through both the glory and the collapse of a dominant team, that message carries serious weight. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur, meanwhile, is under more pressure than ever. He fought hard to bring Hamilton into Ferrari, hoping the 7-time champion's leadership would stabilize the team and motivate Leclerc. But instead, he now finds himself fighting on all fronts. Poor results, heated internal debates, and now the very real fear of losing his lead driver. Reports from Maranello suggest that senior engineers and management have clashed during tense meetings. Arguments about the car's lack of progress, the missed upgrade targets, and the growing split in the garage between optimism and frustration. Vasseur's reaction to Leclerc's quote was reportedly explosive. Not angry at Charles, but at what it revealed, the deep loss of confidence spreading inside the team. He knows that when a driver like Leclerc starts questioning the project publicly, it's not just a driver problem, it's a symptom of a bigger disease inside Ferrari. That's why, according to insiders, Vasseur has been holding back-to-back meetings trying to restore calm, telling the team they need clarity, unity, and honesty if they're going to survive this storm. Even Hamilton, known for his composure, has been trying to keep spirits up. Publicly, he's been nothing but supportive, praising Leclerc's talent, telling the media that frustration is normal when you care deeply. But behind closed doors, Lewis is reportedly worried. He joined Ferrari for a new chapter, not to watch it collapse from the inside. The last thing he wants is to be the only driver left fighting for a team in crisis. What makes all this even more intense is how quickly it's spiraling. Just weeks ago, Ferrari's plan seemed clear. Hamilton and Leclerc would lead the charge. Together, two elite drivers united in red. But now, one of them sounds like he's already halfway out the door, and the other is trying to stop the bleeding before it's too late. So let me ask you, who do you think has the bigger role to play in fixing this? Leclerc, by regaining his faith, or Vasseur, by rebuilding the team's trust from the top? Drop your take in the comments. I want to see who you think carries the real responsibility here. And if you want a full breakdown of how Hamilton is managing this internal tension, hit that like button so I know you want that follow-up video. Also, make sure you're subscribed to Fast News F1 and turn on notifications. We're pushing hard toward our goal of 2,000 subscribers, and your support really helps us keep delivering daily inside coverage. The moment Nicolas Todt, Leclerc's longtime manager, spoke publicly, everything changed. His calm but loaded words, "Charles is no longer a kid," were interpreted across the paddock as something much bigger than a simple statement. For Ferrari, it was the loudest alarm bell yet. Those words signaled that Leclerc's patience might finally be over, and that behind closed doors, discussions about his future could already be underway. Inside Maranello, that comment hit harder than any performance issue. Vasseur, who has known both Leclerc and Todt for years, immediately understood what it meant. He's the one who helped bring Charles into Formula One through Sauber, and their relationship has always been built on mutual respect. But hearing Todt talk like that in public felt like a shot across the bow, a warning that Leclerc's loyalty can no longer be taken for granted. Sources close to Ferrari say Vasseur called an emergency meeting right after those remarks to assess the situation. He wanted to know if Todt's words were just posturing or if there was real movement happening behind the scenes. And what he reportedly heard wasn't comforting. Conversations between Todt and representatives from other teams have quietly started, exploring potential openings for 2027 and beyond. Mercedes, Aston Martin, and even Red Bull have all been mentioned. None of this has been confirmed, but in F1, when a manager starts testing the waters, it's never by accident. The idea of Leclerc joining Mercedes would make sense strategically. Hamilton's current contract runs through 2026, and if he retires after that, Mercedes would be looking for a top-tier replacement. Aston Martin could also be an option, especially if Alonso decides to step back and the team keeps improving. And then there's Red Bull, the wild card. Imagine Verstappen and Leclerc in the same garage, two fierce competitors, one unstoppable machine. It sounds like fantasy, but remember, F1's driver market has a way of turning the impossible into reality. For Ferrari, though, this scenario is nothing short of a nightmare. Losing Leclerc wouldn't just mean losing a fast driver, it would mean losing the face of their modern era. He's been the team's emotional heartbeat, the driver fans associate with Ferrari's future. If he walks, the message to the world is clear. Ferrari failed to keep its star again. Sponsors, engineers, and even fans could start questioning the team's direction. Within the factory, there's already a growing sense of panic. Engineers feel the tension, with some admitting off the record that they wouldn't blame Leclerc if he left. The project's progress has stalled. The internal mood is fractured, and many feel trapped between loyalty to the badge and the frustration of constant underachievement. Even Hamilton's arrival hasn't been enough to change that atmosphere completely, and Todt's recent follow-up comments didn't help. When he said, "We still need a winning car," it sounded polite, but in Formula One terms, it was a direct challenge. It was like saying, Ferrari has no more excuses. And that's what makes this situation so explosive. It's not just about one driver being unhappy. It's about a team that's running out of time to prove it still knows how to win. So let's make it interesting. If Leclerc were to leave Ferrari tomorrow, where would you want him to go? Mercedes? Aston Martin? Red Bull? Drop your pick in the comments. I'll feature the most popular choice in a future video. And remember, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want the latest updates the second they drop, subscribe to Fast News F1 and hit the notification bell. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and every click helps us grow and bring you the most in-depth F1 coverage anywhere. If Leclerc truly decides to leave Ferrari, the consequences would go far beyond just the driver lineup. It would shake the very core of the team. Let's imagine that moment. Charles announcing his departure, likely in an emotional statement thanking Ferrari for an unforgettable journey. The Tifosi, Ferrari's loyal fans, would be devastated. They've watched Leclerc grow from a young prodigy into the face of their team, and his exit would feel like betrayal mixed with heartbreak. For Ferrari, this would be a full-blown crisis. They would lose not only a driver capable of extracting every tenth from the car, but also a symbol of hope. Leclerc represented the belief that Ferrari's next championship wasn't just a dream, it was coming. His departure would instantly raise the question, who replaces him? Rumors already point to several possibilities. Carlos Sainz might stay, on as the experienced hand, but he's also been linked to other projects. Ferrari could look toward young talents like Oliver Bearman, who impressed in his stand-in race this season, or go for a bold move, maybe luring Lando Norris or even George Russell if Mercedes reshuffles its lineup. But the truth is, none of those options would instantly fill the Leclerc-sized gap. His connection with Ferrari fans, his raw speed, and his emotional bond with the team make him irreplaceable in ways stats can't measure. Losing him would mark the end of another failed era, something Ferrari has lived through too many times since Schumacher's dominance. Flip the perspective and a Leclerc move could reignite his career. At Mercedes, he'd find a team that, despite its recent struggles, knows how to win championships. At Aston Martin, he'd get the freedom to lead a rising project without the immense pressure of Ferrari's expectations. And if he ever ended up at Red Bull, well, that would be pure chaos for the sport, but also pure gold for fans. Imagine the Leclerc-Verstappen rivalry, this time on equal machinery. Every race would be fireworks, but before that happens, Ferrari still has a small window to change its fate. Vasseur needs to deliver results and not just podiums, wins. If the car finally starts competing at the front, Leclerc might stay. He doesn't want to leave Ferrari. He wants Ferrari to become the team he's always dreamed of driving for. It's a relationship built on passion and pain, and both sides know that fixing it will take more than words. It'll take victories. So here's a question for you. Do you think Leclerc should stay and fight for Ferrari's redemption, or should he walk away and chase his dreams elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading through them to see where fans stand. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Fast News F1 and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the biggest stories shaking the Formula One world. Your support means the world. We're pushing to reach 2,000 subscribers, and with your help, we'll get there faster than a Red Bull pit stop. Because in F1, loyalty, ambition, and pressure all collide, and Charles Leclerc is right at the center of it. The next move he makes could define not just his career, but Ferrari's entire future.